Hey guys, welcome back to another ultimate ranking video, and today we're going to be ranking every single character made item in the game. I've done a video on comeback mechanics in a similar format as this in the past, and I decided it would be fun to do this. To my knowledge, Makrock hasn't made one of these. He's done one on I think charge shots, big moves, and I think he did one on counters. No, he did a conceptual video on counters, but I don't think he did one on this yet, so I'm gonna steal this one before he does. No, I'm just kidding. He can make one if he wants to. We can just compare the two. Anyways, I wanted to talk about character made items because there's quite a few of them, and they all have varying effects from, how strong they are, and they all have different effects, different purposes, different functions, different, I guess, overall end results, and of course different threat levels, because you have some that are just very minor, kind of almost negligible. They're just there to add some more flavor to the character's moveset from a thematic standpoint. Then you have some that's actually decently usable, and then of course you have some that dictates the entire character's gameplay, win condition, and literally the way they function. So I thought it'd be kind of fun. We have our S tier, A tier, B, C, and D tier. Just to make note that a D tier projectile does not necessarily mean that when you compare it to every single character's abilities and moves, that's where it's going to be. It's just isolated within this tier list. So for example, there may be a D tier item that is a C tier move if we compare every single move on every single character across the entire roster. And that's the kind of philosophy that a lot of people have when it comes to items, is that all items are useful. They can be used in some capacity to extend combos, to do damage, and sometimes even set of kill confirms or edge guarding scenarios. But I think that it would be better to just rank them respective to one another. So the D tier items will be compared to the standard of being the S tier items, or I guess the mid level, which is the B tier items. By the way, at the time of recording this, there are a lot of planes flying overhead because I live near an airport. So if you hear humming or kind of whooshes in the background, I'm sorry about that. I'll try to get rid of them as I can. But anyways, let's get started. We're going to open up with, let's see, we'll start with, I think, Robin. So, male Robin will be Levin Sword, specifically Levin Sword, and I'm going to put it in, I'll say, C tier. So Levin Sword is actually a pretty decent projectile. It's rather big. The only problem is that you can't exactly have it on your hand at any time. It's not an instantiable projectile on demand, such as a peach turnip or Diddy Kong banana, which is what kind of lowers it for me. If you could just, throw the sword at the person whenever you want to, I'd put it in B tier, but I'm putting it in C tier because it's a decent item, but it doesn't do all that much. And I guess by extension, same goes for Robin's, or female Robin will be all the tomes. I think the tomes are a bit better because they're a bit faster. I'm not quite certain about that. Maybe that might be the same speed. But overall, what kind of diminishes the value of these projectiles or these items is that you can't have it whenever you want to. It's only after you fully exhaust the durability of the items or the weapons, and then you can have it, which turns it into, I guess, a half decent projectile, but it's not, you know what I mean, right? It's not super consistent. Next one is going to be Toon Link's Bomb. Toon Link's Bomb's a solid A tier move. It's probably his best move, and it's integral for all of his combos and all of his setups. And the fact that unlike the Young Link and regular Link's Bomb, well, regular Link's different, but unlike Young Link's Bomb, Toon Link's Bomb can float in the air a little bit longer, so it can control more space. And I think it's slightly better in terms of combo potential and also just the way it knocks up enemies, but it has the same basic function as Young Link's Bomb as well, which is why they both go in very solid. I wouldn't exactly put it in S tier just because even though the bombs can be followed up into almost any character, right? If you catch the bomb, you can use it for your own follow-ups, whether you're playing Cloud, playing Ike, you're playing Joker, Lucario, Pikachu, Ridley, Rob, Roy, Steve. Anyone can make use of the bombs just as well as the Lynx can. So it's a good projectile to have, but I think one downside is that the explosion can be used against you, as in even if you do land the explosion, it can still damage you. I mean, that's kind of the purpose of a bomb, right? It's indiscriminate. It will hurt you if it comes in contact with you, so it's realistic. But I think that's what knocks it from S tier, is that it can be used against you quite liberally, and also the fact that it does have what's it called? It does have a really long pullout animation, as in you can really punish Young Link and Toon Link for pulling the bomb out as a long cast time compared to someone like, let's say, Snake, who's a frame 1 cast. Next one is going to be, let's do Bowser Jr.'s Mecha Koopa. Mecha Koopa is weird. It is similar to the Lynx in terms of it being a bomb that you throw it and then it can very gently knock up an opponent upwards, and then you can follow up with a forward air or something like that. The one benefit that it does have is that it's extremely fast. If you pick up the Mecha Koopa and throw it, it's really fast. However, it has a significantly longer cast time. It takes, I think, almost a full second to let it come out. And then of course, for it to turn into an actual item, it has to first be blocked or it has to come back to you. So the Mecha Koopa goes away from Bowser Jr. first, which means the opponent has the first opportunity to pick up the Mecha Koopa. Outside of that, it's worse than the bomb in some ways and better than the bomb in other ways because it can control space, right? It can kind of like move around. It can force a ledge trapping scenario, which is also very nice. But I think there are better item projectiles out there when it comes to doing ledge trapping scenarios and controlling space, such as R.O.B's Gyro. R.O.B's Gyro, where the hell is he? Wait, where is he? Huh? Oh, there it is. R.O.B's Gyro is, pardon my French, is fucking horse. This is probably one of, if not the best item projectile in the game. I would actually put that on, I might give that to maybe Link, but R.O.B's Gyro is insane. It is a good harass tool. It has good space control, and it's one of the most difficult items to pick up for some ungodly reason. I can't figure out why. You kind of like doink yourself into it more than you can actually pick it up. So you have to commit to using a dash attack or some kind of semi-invincibility hitbox like let's say air dodge grab. But point being, Gyro is insane. It lasts forever. It could be used for edge guarding. It could be used for any one of his numerous zero to death combos that end off in rotor arm, which most other characters could probably do too if they figure out enough. It's perfect. It has no weakness. It's really safe on shield too if you throw it. I mean, maybe up close it's not, or rather when R.O.B actually throws it up, but when it becomes an item, it does so much because sometimes the Gyro can pop you up in a very convenient way. Sometimes it knocks you like in a stage spike kind of angle. It's good. It's so good. And especially in R.O.B's case, right? Like, it has almost no cooldown. You shield the Gyro, he gets another one within a matter of like a second after. It's overpowered. Oh my goodness, the Gyro is so annoying. It is a huge and central part of why R.O.B can play as a zoner if he wants to, or why he can safely pressure you and force you to approach, because he can just keep tossing Gyro at you over and over again. Understandably, you could use it against him too though, and most people do. The whole point of fighting R.O.B is to know how to use his Gyro or to take it away from him, and for characters with very good special moves, like let's say, I'm thinking, who's a good example? I guess I'll use Cloud. Cloud can use Cross Slash, Blade Beam, and Climb Hazard to rack up damage while holding onto an item, which is a decent way for you to kind of take that pressure away from R.O.B. But until that happens, like there's so many different combo applications. The Gyro can be really fast, it can be really slow, it can last a long time, it can last a short time, depending on how many times you spin it. It's good. I don't know how else to describe it. It's good. Next character is Diddy Kong. Similarly to Gyro, unlike the banana though, however, it's a setup tool. It's one of the best setup tools in the game. With a smash throw or whatever, like the strong hit of banana, it leads you into basically any decently fast smash attack. And in the case of Diddy Kong, he can sometimes charge a smash attack. So you can even do a slow, I'm pretty sure Bowser can do banana into forward smash if he has banana. But one thing that really buffed this item compared to Smash 4 is that now it's transcendent and you can pick it up again after throwing it. So it's not like you just grab it once, you throw it, and it's done. You can throw it twice for a couple of extra combos, and it's transcendent, so it can challenge disjoints like sword moves or projectiles and other stuff like that. So Diddy Kong is just, I don't know, Diddy Kong's banana, that's another focal point of his kit, and it's what allows him to be such a threatening character, is that God forbid you get hit by a banana, it's a free setup into any move in the game. Diddy Kong makes better use of it because he has a command grab, so he can actually grab you while holding the banana, but I still think even without it, a lot of characters would just be so much more dangerous if they had banana, and that is once again the game plan with Diddy, is to use the banana against him. It's one of the reasons why Gluto cheesed, no, I don't want to say cheesed, it's one of the reasons why Gluto got a massive comeback on Tweak at Terra, is by using using the banana against him. But even so, that just shows how broken banana is as a move. It's so powerful when being used by Diddy, and it's so powerful when being used against him. Oh, and similarly to Gyro, it is an active collision detection, which means if it's on the ground, you run across it, you will slip and fall. So it is stage control too. Let's see, let's go into Banjo and Kazooie's Grenade. So, I put it in A tier because it is a stall, it can stall the character, and similarly to Mecha Koopa, it's really fast. Like, if you throw it, it's extremely fast, and it pops up the character just like a Toon Link or Young Link bomb. That means you can follow up into a forward air, into an up air, like basically anything. Banjo can only really follow up into Wonder Wing or forward air, but if you had, let's say, I don't know, K-Rool back air or something, you could, Grenade pop into K-Rool back air, do a ton of damage. You can do Charizard back air, right? There are so many different ways you can follow up with this, and I think it's kind of on par with the Young Links and Toon Links when it comes to making use of the bomb. And it's one of the reasons why Banjo Kazooie could do the grenade stall constantly at the ledge, because it's really hard to challenge given how big the hitbox is. And yeah, it's just a really good move. Similarly to the bombs, it could be used against you, but that's part and parcel, right? That comes with the territory. Let's go for another, I guess, bad one. We'll do Villager's Timber Log thing. It's okay. It's similar to Robin's Books and Sword, where it's a projectile. You throw it and it does damage. It's just, it takes a lot of commitment to get it because you have to set up the tree, or you have to plant the tree, then water it, then cut it down, and then you get the timber log, which is, it's okay. I mean, it's a projectile, right? You can make use of it. It's just not the most practical thing out there. Let's do Game & Watch. So Game & Watch, you might be wondering, how the hell does he have instantiable items? Remember that his number 7 judge creates apples. Apples are, I guess you could say they're functionally useful, right? You can get, I think the total is what, about 12%? However, it is entirely RNG. It's a 1 in 9 chance, and the 9 has a higher chance of being activated, so it's more like a 1 in 13, 1 in 14 chance to get the 7. In which case, that's what kind of eliminates all semblance of practicality, is that you can't control it. And, I mean, if you could, though, Game & Watch could sustain until the end of time. But it's okay, it heals, right? Like, no projectile, no creatable item, or no instantiable item is bad. It's just that, how pragmatically can you make use of it? Game & Watch's case, you can't. We'll do Sheik. So Sheik, I didn't know if you guys know this. In fact, I didn't know until Cody told me about this. But Sheik, if you hit her while she throws out her side B grenade, the grenade doesn't explode. You can pick it up and throw it at something and it will doink. I did not even know that. It is super niche because for Sheik to actually turn it into an item that you can throw, she has to get hit while using the side B, and most Sheik players with the brain will never use side B in a position where they can get hit. I mean, that's just an indication of how the fact that I had no idea this even existed because I've never seen this situation happen before until he showed it to me. So I'll put it in D tier because it's just bad, you know? Next character, we'll talk about Link, his bomb. His bomb is arguably the best projectile in the game, or the best character instantiable projectile in the game. Take everything I said about R.O.B's Gyro and apply it to Link. However, the main difference is that Link can detonate the bomb and use it to kill you. Like the Gyro, at the very least, the Gyro doesn't have that much kill power. Not that it needs it, but whereas Link's bomb does, and it also has an active collision. You can hit the Gyro, or not the Gyro, you can hit the bomb. You can do all sorts of fancy tech with the bomb. Link can use the bomb to recover back to stage, albeit in a very high risk, high reward way. There's so many ways you can make use of the bomb, and sometimes the very, very, very infinitesimal knockback on the bomb makes it better for combos. So there, you get the best of both worlds. So I think, yeah, like Link's projectile is probably going to be the best. By the way, this isn't ordered. I'm not saying that like R.O.B is better than Diddy, which is better than Link. It's just, you know, general tiers. But yeah, Link's bomb is phenomenal. It is so good. And if it was on other characters, especially faster characters, or anyone who can probably like ledge trap or stage control a lot better than Link, then it would be probably unstoppable. And already it's a dangerous force on Link. It's something you have to always respect because at any point he can detonate and explode it. So even trying to grab the bomb itself is risky because before you do, presses down B and explodes, you take damage and may even lose your life. There's also, I forget if this is true and I forget if this applies to the entire cast. So unlike R.O.B's Gyro, where depending on like which angle you throw it, you might have to read into like a 50-50 for like an up smash or something like that. Link's bomb will always make contact with a neutral get up from ledge, which means you can always set up into a forward smash, forward tilt, links up B, stuff like that. So it's a pretty good checkmate scenario because it covers a lot of situations. You basically only need to cover jump or roll, which is very easy to do. And I'm pretty sure even if you try to hit the bomb, they could still hit you during the animation. Or no, maybe Gyro might be better in that regard, but whatever, it's still a top tier projectile. Next one's gonna be Wario's bike. It's okay, he can create it on demand, but the bike is a heavy item compared to the other items which are very light, so your movement is inhibited and there's more frame data when you're trying to actually like throw the item. Also, it doesn't have kind of like a persistent danger effect compared to like the bombs up here. But I think it's okay, it can lead into some decent scenarios. It has a ton of kill power if you throw it a far distance, but I don't know, just Wario's bike, you could use it as an item, but most of the time you actually kind of don't want to pick up the item because it's so laggy due to being so heavy that Wario could just hit you through it, or you can hit Wario through it. So it's only if you're like on stage, your opponent's off stage, you just want to throw something at them, then use Wario's bike, but it's not a bad projectile, it's just not one of the best. Next one's going to be K. Rool's crown. Ironically, K. Rool can't even use his own crown as an item because whenever he picks it up, he can just use it as side B. We, his opponents, can make use of the item. So I'm going to be looking at it from that point. His item is great. It's a good item. You know, you can throw it, you can grab it. It has fair bit of knockback, especially off stage. It does a lot of damage, which is a good thing, and that's overall a pretty good item. You can make use of it in a lot of different ways. It's similar to R.O.B's Gyro, I guess, in terms of like the knockback and like the function of it. So it's not a bad item per se. It's just that K-Rool can't use it, but it's a pretty decent item. Next one's going to be, I guess, the Belmont's Holy Fire. It's okay. How do I say this? So technically speaking, the Belmonts can't use it as a throwable item because for it to be a throwable item, they have to throw it out. The opponent has to shield it, so it bounces off, and then they have to try to catch it. So it's kind of difficult for the Belmonts to use it as a throwable item, not that they need to. However, if you do get a good position to throw it as a throwable item, then it's a free setup into most attacks. You can SDI upwards to dodge like a forward smash, but if you, let's say we're playing, I guess, I don't know, Ike or Ganondorf, you throw the Holy Fire, and even if they try to SDI up, you just up smash it and catches them anyway. So it's a very powerful item that can lead to a decent amount of setup, but I still think it's not as consistent as like the bomb setups or the banana or like, you know, gyro setups. So it's gonna be in B tier. So decent, passable projectile. Next item will be, I think I'm gonna use Mii Sword Fighter to represent Link's arrow when it drops to the ground. It's okay. He can consistently pick it up and then he can do like a double arrow combo, but that doesn't make it a throwable item. And we're just talking about the regular throw item. It's okay. It's like it's like the Robins. Actually, it probably might be worse than the Robins. At least these guys can make use of it. It has better, I guess, kill combos or kill confirms and more knockback. But Link's arrow, no one cares. Let's be honest, no one cares. Then we're gonna do Mega Man. Mega Man's Metal Blade is fantastic. I don't think I'll put it in S tier, but it's a pretty fantastic projectile. You always see on Twitter all the Z-drop combos, you know, Z-drop footstool, Metal Blade combos, and it's ridiculous. But overall, Metal Blade's a very solid move. It flies in a straight line, so if you throw it up, it flies straight up. If you throw it straight, it flies straight. So it's good for controlling space in terms of like in neutral, and it can sometimes be a decent way to, I guess, just do a little bit of damage because it could be used as a follow-up. It has like kind of like a knock up, and it kind of sends you slightly upwards, similarly to Holy Fire when you SDI upwards. So it can be used for standard follow-ups, like you can do a throw into up smash, throw into aerial, anything basically. Next characters could be Pac-Man. Bonus fruit is broken. All variants of it. I don't care which one it is. Obviously, you want to pick up the Galaxian, you want to pick up the Bell, you want to pick up the Key. Even the fruits, they have their own different ways of being useful. You have the apple, which sends you directly upwards. It kind of bounces in an apple. And then you have the orange, which shoots straight and has a terrible knockback angle, which means it's fantastic for keeping characters like Chrom, Ike, Cloud, you know, that kind of stuff. And then you have the melon, which just stays forever. It goes really slowly and just stays forever. So all of them have their benefits, and it's one of the best neutral beasts in the game, in my opinion, especially because of the Bell being an infinitely better version of Diddy Kong's banana, because it's an electric wind god fist turned into an item. Like, what more can you ask for? Next one's going to be Peach. Turnip. Turnip is disgusting. All variants of it, once again. Even the base Turnip is so good. It has like, what, 12% damage even at base. And of course, if you get Dot Eyes or Stitch Face, then you're golden. But the Turnips are incredible. They have a very low knockback scaling, so they have pretty much the same knockback, even from low percent to like really high percent. So you can use it for a ton of combos, and it's just good as a damaging projectile. It doesn't have persistence similar to Diddy Kong, Link, and R.O.B. In other words, like when you throw it, you can't just like let it sit in the spot to zone your opponent, but it does a ton of damage, and you get so many different versions of it. And of course, if you get Mr. Saturn or Bomb, which Daisy will be, that is also disgustingly broken. With Mr. Saturn, you can't shield. And of course, Bomb is an insta-kill if you are at like 40% or higher. There is the obvious downside of if the Stitch Face, Dot Eyes, Mr. Saturn, or Bomb is used against you, then you're in trouble. But I mean, most of the time, it's like that's hardly a risk you can even consider for Peach and Daisy because the payoff is so much better. And I think they very much deserve to be in S tier, regardless of which one it is. Same with Snake. Snake's grenades they cheat. They cheat. Take the slow pullout of almost all these characters, right? Like Link has a slow pullout, don't take that out of context. Diddy Kong has a slow pullout, even Mega Man has a slow pullout. All of these characters have a pretty decently long animation to actually pull out the projectile. And then you have Snake with the frame 1 pullout. And if you hit Snake while he pulls out the grenade, it explodes. So it has on-grab contact explosion, something that I don't think any of these other characters have. It is stupid. It is broken. It is unfair. It forces you to rethink the entire game just when fighting Snake. I hate it. I hate Snake so much. Okay, I believe we have one more to go. Which one of these has an extra projectile that I forgot about? Give me a moment. Oh yeah, Pac-Man has another item that you can pick up. You can't really use it offensively because as soon as you use it, it's a recovery item. It's the power pellet. We'll use, I guess, Sans. So, power pellet, if you like hit Pac-Man out of his animation or whatever, the power pellet can then be picked up and consumed for I think like what, 2 HP? I forget exactly how much it heals. It's D tier, right? It's a power pellet. Who cares? That's one of the moves that's like flavor for the character, right? Like if it's similar to the regular Pac-Man games. Although no, power pellet in the regular Pac-Man games would be equated to the star, but you get the idea. It's a decent, like fun little Easter egg, I would say. That's about the best way I can put it. But anyways, that is my list. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you agree or disagree with any of them, I think it's a decent list. I don't think anyone would disagree with it. Maybe you can make an argument that Robin's can be higher because the books and the sword are a bit stronger, but I think this will kind of like round it out. So let me know in the comments down below if you agree or disagree with any of my choices, as well as if I forgot anything. I don't think I did. Is there another item that I did just double check? No. I'm pretty sure these are all the items, so that's going to be it. But anyways, hope you enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also follow me on Twitter at Vars, join my Discord server, and check out my other tier list videos if you haven't yet, my ranking comebacks one if you want. And yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon in the next one. Take care.